Welcome to Toastmaster Time, the show that has everybody talking. My name is Venu Subramanium, and I'll be your host for this edition of Toastmaster Time. Just like in a regular Toastmaster meeting, we will have prepared speeches and evaluations so that we can give feedback to the speakers and help them improve. Today we have a great show. We have two experienced speakers lined up. For the first speaker, we're going to do something different we have never done before. It's a special treat, literally. Our first speaker is Tanya Jansen, and let me invite our first speaker, Tanya Jansen. Welcome to the show, Tanya.
Thank you, Venu. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. Welcome again. So I believe that you're a member of multiple clubs, aren't you?
Yes, I'm in two clubs, Laugh Lovers Comedy Club and Downtown Berkeley Toastmasters.
Laugh Lovers. Oh, that is really humorous. I like that kind of meetings. What do you do in these meetings, Tanya?
Well, in these meetings, we have headliners. We recently had Patricia Fripp, and in November, we're going to have Will Durst, and they teach us things about the business of humor and comedy. And then the second half of our meeting features our own members trying to learn from the experts.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. That's very nice. How long have you been with Toastmasters?
A little over 6 years.
6 years. That's wonderful. You know, I love these humorous things, adding humor to speeches. That's a wonderful thing that gets your attention. I really love it. I need to check out Laugh Lovers.
Yes, you do. It's the third Sunday of each month at 100 Bay Place in Oakland, and we have a slogan, come for a cupcake and stay for the comedy.
Excellent. And how are these leadership opportunities? How have they helped you outside Toastmasters?
Well, Toastmasters gave me the opportunity to chair conferences, to be a co-chair of Toastmasters Leadership Institute, which used to be just plain officers training, but in this opportunity, I was able to work with an experienced Toastmaster, Cassandra Cockrell, and we really revamped the program to include not only officers training, but other educational needs of Toastmasters, like how to give a great evaluation, how to write your speech, how to tell a story.
Wonderful. That's excellent. Are you ready to give your first speech, Tanya?
Absolutely.
Excellent. I'll give you some time to settle down while I just talk to the listeners on manuals and speeches and so on. Today, Tanya is going to be talking on project number 8 of the Competent Communicator Manual. And the theme of this is visual aids and getting comfortable with visual aids. Sometimes by just speaking, it might not make a big difference, but by giving visual aids like a presentation or a demonstration, it really makes the point across. So her topic today is going to be cast a sweet spell. Tanya Jansen, cast a sweet spell. Tanya Jansen.
Thank you. What is scrumptious and delicious and not at all nutritious? It's our favorite craze, cupcakes. Tonight, we will teach you how to enchant and entice anyone with a sweet tooth so that you don't have to leave any crowd hungry and hollow. These cakes are perfect for any family gathering, party, or whatever event you would like to do. When I first got into making cupcakes, my daughter was a dancer at Berkeley Ballet Theater, and every Nutcracker performance, they would have a concession stand. And they would ask for people to donate baked goods. We always brought cupcakes. In fact, I think Tabitha spent more time helping make cupcakes than actually performing. But as you can see, it all worked out. Now, Tabitha is my daughter, sous chef, and sorcerer's apprentice for this evening. Hello. She's going to demonstrate how to design and decorate the cupcakes, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. Our first Wicked Delight is our Rockin' Raspberry Cupcake. It looks simple, but it has a sneaky, devilish surprise in the center. Now, when you do a filled cupcake, you hollow out the center so that each of your cupcakes will have a consistency of filling. Some pastry chefs will inject it with a pastry bag and a tip, but this is my preferred method because, as you can see, you will just spoon the filling into the center of the cupcake, and then each one will have about the same amount of filling. Now Tabitha will demonstrate how to use the pastry bag to create the simple swirl.
For the simple swirl, you want to start on the outside and work in, just like this. And make sure to guide with the bottom and squeeze from the top. Simple swirl.
And then you will add an edible decoration. In this case, it's all natural raspberry. Next on our journey through the land of sweets, we will say sayonara to summer with our garden party. These cupcakes have a flower design with a chocolate in the center. You begin with a yellow cake, in this case a straight knife instead of a pastry bag, and Tabitha will frost that with just a thin layer of frosting. Then she's going to add a center at the visual center, which will help her when she draws the lines of the flower. Now you can pick any color you want, and she'll start at the center and pull out the leaves. Now for our buttercream frosting, we don't use anything from a can. It's very simple to make from scratch using butter, powdered sugar, a little bit of milk, vanilla extract, or if you want to use another flavor extract, that's fine too. And you blend it and then just put it in the pastry bag. And you have a delicious homemade buttercream at a fraction of the cost that the others would be. Now she's going to put some sanding sugar on it to give it a little bit of sparkle. And then add one of our friendly garden creatures.
And that is our summer cupcake.
Now, in case you haven't guessed, our favorite holiday is Halloween. Not only is it a fun holiday that's really colorful and you get to dress up in great costumes, you can also dress your cupcakes up in great costumes. These have a pumpkin spice cupcake as the base. We're going to put some grass on them and then build the scene upwards. So you can go anywhere from cute to complex with your cupcakes. Now Tabitha's going to use a pastry bag. In this case, she has the grass tip on it. And she's going to pipe the grass.
The great thing about the grass is that it can be messy because, as we all know, ghosts don't have time to mow their lawns.
No, they don't. And for our decorations on the cupcakes, we have a combination of haunted houses, chocolate cats, and trees. And we made all of these by hand. The cats and the haunted houses were from a mold, but as she was saying, it doesn't have to be perfect. The trees are really fun to freehand with a piping bag because trees in nature aren't consistent and you can make them spooky looking. And it does not have to be perfect. For her haunted house, she is going to throw some bones on there, and the little ghost decorations are made of fondant, which you can do yourself or you can purchase at a number of suppliers such as Spun Sugar in Berkeley. Do you want to show them the tree cupcake?
Oh, yes.
So that they can get a view of that.
And this is our tree cupcake with a chocolate piped tree and some autumn leaf sprinkles.
And this is just a regular pumpkin that you find this time of year at Target, CVS, Safeway, any of the stores will have them. Well, we hope we've shown you how that you too can make enchanting edibles. Don't be afraid to take risk on your journey when you're learning to cook or decorate, because you'll know you're successful when you have nothing left for people to take away. Have a hauntingly happy Halloween.
That was wonderful, Tanya,
Thank
Tabitha.
you.
That was really a wonderful and, should I say, delicious speech with clear and edible visual aids. So that is wonderful. And coming up for the holiday season, you're showing us how to decorate the cupcakes and so on. Where do you learn to do all those things?
We learned mainly by practicing and cookbooks, and there's a lot of
Trial and error.
trial and error.
Wonderful.
The Halloween ones were a lot of fun because, like I said, they give you options, and there's so many just creative ideas that come up around the holidays in particular with themes. But it's also good to have a fallback like the simple raspberry swirl one.
That's nice. And do you add nuts also? Because I'm really crazy about nuts.
We can add nuts.
Wonderful. And you, Tabitha, you were a pro. So do you help your mom professionally?
I do help her, not professionally. I'm a student at the moment.
Oh, where do you go to school?
I go to school at the Fashion Institute for Design and Merchandising, and my major is costume design.
Oh, wonderful. Excellent. That's costumes. So that's great. So thank you for coming, and thank you for the wonderful demonstration. We learned a lot, and it was really distracting standing there. And I tell you. All right, now I'll leave you with this sweet taste, and we need to go for a short break for our public service announcement. And you're watching Toastmaster Time, and we'll be right back after these messages. Don't go away.
Name an effective political leader in history who couldn't speak well.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
There aren't any.
Because when it comes to a disease,
Freedom
like this,
requires leadership,
there are
and
no
leadership requires
parties.
oratory. You have to speak to be heard.
I have a dream.
It's all about personal growth and guts.
Never give in. Never, never, never.
Welcome back to Toastmaster Time, the show that has everybody talking. After the lovely demonstration of cupcake decoration, we go on to the next speaker. Our next speaker is Steve Taddei. He is also an experienced speaker speaking today. And let me invite our second speaker, Steve Taddei. Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Good show. Anyway, so I believe you are also from multiple clubs, I heard. You must be really busy. So which clubs are you from?
I belong to 3 clubs. I belong to Island City and Alameda Tongue Twisters. They're both in Alameda, and they're both traditional Toastmasters clubs. And then there's a specialty club called Speakers Forum in Pleasanton that meets about once a month.
Oh, wonderful. Did you say Tongue Twisters Club? I was not aware of that. What do you do in a Tongue Twisters Club?
It's a traditional club. We do table topics, prepared speeches, evaluations. The club was chartered 2 years ago, and that's the name that the new members came up with to get it off to a good start.
Oh, that's wonderful, wonderful. And how long have you been with Toastmasters?
I've been at Toastmasters for 5 years.
5 years.
Right.
That's wonderful. And you're very busy with your hobby too. What are your hobbies?
Well, my hobby and my passion is to play golf.
Golf?
I love playing golf, and that's how I relax.
Wonderful. That's one place you don't get to talk much, isn't it?
You gotta be real quiet.
That's wonderful. Are you ready to give your speech, Steve?
I'm ready to give my speech.
Excellent. So I'll give you some time for you to settle down and get ready. In the meantime, I'll be talking to our listeners. So Toastmasters International has got a lot of manuals. They have up to 17 manuals focusing on various aspects of communication and leadership. And today, Steve is going to be talking on Project 9 of the Competent Communication Manual. The theme of his speech is Persuade with Power, and his objective is to persuade the listener to adopt to his viewpoint. So Steve's topic is going to be escaping from your comfort zone. Steve Taddei, escaping from your comfort zone. Steve Taddei, take it away.
Comfort zones. Is there anything more crippling than giving into our comfort zones? Folks, that is a genius of Toastmasters. Toastmasters allows us to identify and conquer the comfort zones that are holding us back. It starts right from the beginning. The first thing we do in a Toastmasters club is give our icebreaker speech. 4 to 6 minutes of pure terror, speaking in front of 12 people that you've only known for about 2 weeks. The funny thing is, you get through it. You give about 2 or 3 more speeches down the road. When you're not giving speeches, you're filling other roles to make the meetings go well. And within about a month or two, you're smack dab in the middle of another comfort zone. So what do? Well, about that time, your mentor or another club member comes up to you and taps you on the shoulder and says, you know what? You ought to compete in a speech contest. And you take a deep breath and you say, wow, I don't know if I can do that. Sure enough, it's a little bit outside your comfort zone. Well, you decide to compete. You're competing against fellow club members, so you know all of them. You know everybody in the audience, so it's not really that hard. But you give the speech of your life and you win. Your reward is to go on to another contest, competing against the 5 or 6 best speakers in your area in front of 25 to 50 people that you've never met before. Your comfort zone has just exploded. Well, it's not fair for me to talk about your comfort zone and not talk about me escaping mine. I escaped my comfort zone about 6 weeks ago at the Toastmasters International Convention in Cincinnati. There's a past international president named Ted Cochran. He's out of Ireland. And every night at these international conventions, he hosts a late night sing-along. 25 to 30 Toastmasters from all over the world will just come in and do whatever they want. There's a woman named Pamela from Houston. She sings like an absolute angel. Her 2 favorite songs are Amazing Grace and Let There Be Peace on Earth. Then there was another woman from Turkey who also had a beautiful voice, and she sang in her native language. Then there's people that like to have fun. There was a gentleman, I think he was also from Texas, and he got up there and he sang, "You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille." He had the whole group singing with him. So I'm watching this. The first night I don't do anything. I just observe, and then I thought, you know what? I've got to give this a try. So Ted Corcoran has this little sheet you fill out, and I wrote my name down, and he called me up, and I took a deep breath, and I just got started. Woo, 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 woo. In the days we sweat on the streets, in the runaway American dream. At night we ride through the mansions of glory in suicide machines, sprung from cages out of Highway 9, chrome-wheeled, fuel-injected, stepping out over the line. Baby, this town rips the bones from your back. It's a death trap, a suicide rap. We got to get out while we can, because tramps like us, baby, we were born to run. Woo, 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 woo. Well, there's 4 stanzas in Born to Run. I didn't sing, I verbalized all 4 of them. I butchered it, but you have to give me a little break because I didn't have the East Street Band with me. But I got through it, and I dove right out of my comfort zone. I walked out from in front of the room, and past President Corcoran said, somewhere Bruce Springsteen is shaking in his boots. And everybody in the room just started laughing. And I hope they were laughing with me and not at me, but I had fun with it. So what's your comfort zone? Are you a club member and you're really excited about the Toastmasters Club and somebody thinks you'd make a great officer? Or you may be an officer already, doing a great job and somebody thinks you should be the next president. Or you might even be the president in the area that's doing a great job, and there's people from the district that think you should be a district officer. Is something holding you back? I'm asking you to take that next step. Take a look at your comfort zone, identify it, and see if you can escape. You'll develop new skills. You'll find skills you didn't know you had. and there's a good chance you're going to have a lot of fun. Take the step. Venu.
Wonderful. That was a great speech, Steve. That was a wonderful speech.
Thank you.
Your speech clearly met your objective of persuading the audience to get out of their comfort zone and stretch themselves. That was truly inspiring. That was
Well,
very
thank
good.
you. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, that's very good. In fact, matter of fact, even when I was part of Toastmasters, my icebreaker speech, I was sweating profusely, and I was thinking, my God, I need to get out of my comfort zone because I've never given a speech in front of, at the time, they were unfamiliar people.
Right. So I call it 4 to 6 minutes of terror.
That's absolutely right. Have you heard of the Peter Principle? In fact, I was remembering the Peter Principle, where the principle says everyone rises to their level of incompetence, and then they're stuck in that comfort zone. They don't get out of that. So your speech kind of reminded me of that.
I hadn't thought about that, but maybe it's not incompetence. Maybe it's a comfort zone.
That's
And if you stretch yourself, you might be able to overcome it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Steve, for coming, and that was a really, truly persuasive and inspiring speech. Now it's time for us to get out of our comfort zone and take a short break. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Venu.
Thank you. So now let's take a short break and go for our next public service announcement. And you're watching Toastmaster Time. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go away.
All right.
Name an effective political leader in history who couldn't speak well.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
There aren't any.
Because when it comes to a disease
Freedom
like this,
requires leadership,
there are
and
no
leadership requires oratory. You have to speak to be heard.
I have a dream.
It's all about personal growth and guts.
Never give in. Never, never, never.
Welcome back to Toastmaster Time, the show that has everybody talking. We had a great show with two experienced speakers, Tanya and Steve. So how was your experience today?
It was fun.
How about you?
I
How
think,
about you?
I think I left another comfort zone.
Is it? That's nice.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I remember, I think I've seen you a couple of years ago giving one of the shows here, I suppose, right?
I did one here about three years ago.
3 years ago.
And I
Wonderful.
remember I talked about my family's experience with my son playing Little League Baseball.
Excellent. How about you, Tanya? Have you given a speech in front of a live TV audience?
No, I haven't.
That's good. So you got out of your comfort zone as well, I
Yes,
see.
I completely got out of my comfort zone. and-
Excellent. That's nice. So the purpose of this Toastmaster Time show, these are all just to make sure the members get an opportunity to learn new skills and present themselves. You know, talking in front of a set of familiar people, audience, versus talking in front of a camera makes a whole lot of difference. So you're basically coming out of a comfort zone using your own words. And by the way, I love your cupcakes. During the break, I took a small bite of that.
Well, I'm glad you got to try them. But
Wonderful.
as you were saying, it does get you out of your comfort zone because it was quite different doing it in front of the camera and having to really think about the camera angles and how you were going to demonstrate that
Absolutely.
cupcake
You're
than
right.
it is doing it in front of an interactive audience.
Excellent. That's good. I'm so glad that you both enjoyed your show today. And I was really excited about having you and hosting the show for the first time. I'm coming out of my comfort zone. So that was very great. Thank you very much, both of you, for coming to
Thank
the
you.
show.
It was a great
Thank you.
experience.
Great.
Thank you. Wonderful experience.
Wonderful. So, well, that is a great show we had. And if you notice, not only communication, Toastmasters are also responsible for both communication as well as leadership. We have various clubs and we have various manuals. I think Toastmasters International comes up with about 17 manuals focusing on various things, right from how to give an icebreaker speech in front of unfamiliar audience, how to improve your vocal variety, your hand gestures, your movement. Where do you keep your hands? Do you keep them in your pocket or do you start fidgeting around? These are all important things. Unless you stand in front of an audience and actually give a speech, it's very difficult to experience how you get out of that comfort zone, if I may use the same phrase, and come out of that and basically do well in your confidence level and talking in front of an audience at work or elsewhere. So it's very important. And we also, not only the competent communication, we also have advanced level. Like a couple of our speakers, they talked about specialty clubs, about adding humor and adding various focus groups on how to improve certain aspects of your speech. These are all really important in order to be a well-rounded speaker. That is excellent. And leadership is another one which is really developed in addition to communication. In addition to the competent communication, we also have competent leadership, which is another manual with a set of speeches focusing on how to be a good listener, how to have a one-on-one conversation, and you probably would have heard about how to give an elevator speech. If you meet your CEO on the way at your elevator, do you know what you can say to him or her? So these are the things which helps you develop your leadership qualities and help be a well-rounded person. The conversation is not just a dialogue, it's a dialogue and not just a monologue. So you ought to be a good listener as well. Anyway, specialty clubs is another one. If you have a chance, you need to check out Toastmasters and then look for specialty clubs. That will help you really focus on various aspects of your speeches. Well, that's our show for today. Thank you all for joining us on Toastmasters Time. We tape our show in the Media Center at Palo Alto. And if you want more information about our show, visit our website at toastmastertime.com. And this Toastmaster show is being sponsored by Toastmaster District 57. For local information, check their website at d57tm.org. Well, and if you like more information about Toastmaster International or you would like to find a club near you, please visit Toastmasters International at toastmaster.org. Well, thank you very much for listening in to us today. We appreciate all the wonderful staff and our volunteers at the theater here and our two lovely speakers, Tanya and Steve, and the lovely cupcakes also, and of course, her daughter, Tabitha. So from all of us at Toastmaster Time, I am Venu Subramanium. We invite you to join Toastmasters, and don't forget, keep talking. Check out us at toastmasters.com. Thank you very much.